Well, hello guys. How y'all doing on this Sunday championship Super Bowl? See who goes to the Super Bowl Sunday. Um, Feel kind of empty today with the Cowboys not playing anymore, but what we're gonna do? You know how things seem to go for the Cowboys for the last 27 years. Uh, but we do have some news, guys. And that's why I'm on here, because you know how we do here at Cowboy Star. We always report the news when we get it available. Dan Quinn, that's right, Dan Quinn has decided to return to the Dallas Cowboys. That's great news, folks. You know, Dan Quinn, he's the man around Dallas right now. I think he's even bigger than Mike McCarthy as far as coaches go for the Cowboys. Could he be the coach in waiting for the Cowboys? I kind of figured that, yeah, he might be. Because one more year of the Cowboys not making it to the championship game at least, I think McCarthy will be gone. And the Cowboys will probably then elevate Dan Quinn into the head coaching position. Now, you know Jerry Jones started dealing out those greenbacks to Dan Quinn to stay with the Cowboys. But if you think about it, you know, there really wasn't that many great jobs available this year. We had the Texans, we had the Colts, we had the Denver Broncos, and who else? Cardinals. Do you really want to go coach Murray of the Cardinals? I mean, he's a problem child, attitude problem waiting to happen. I wouldn't have took that job up out of him. I'd rather stay at the Cowboys too, especially if Jerry Jones is going to pay me, which you know he did to keep him. I'm sure he's just probably making 500,000 less than McCarthy, maybe not even that much less for them to keep him. And McCarthy is a bit of a lame duck coach, if you ask me, this year coming up to the Cowboys. And who knows, you know, something may happen and they get crossways and they might let McCarthy go yet before the season starts. I don't know if that'll happen, but we'll remains to be seen. But we'll see what happens. But in other news on the coaching front for the Cowboys, there's still a 50-50 chance of even offensive coordinator Kellen Moore returning to the Cowboys. He didn't really get that many hits on coaching offers this offseason. The only team that was semi-interested in him was the Carolina Panthers, and they've already hired Frank Reich as their head coach, which I don't know why they hired him, but they did. The former coach of Indianapolis Colts. But the Cowboys have released and let go or didn't re-sign, in whatever the case may be. Their contract was up, so to speak, on 6 coaches. George Edwards, who's a real good friend of Mike McCarthy, and I'm sure he was forced out by Jerry Jones. Skip Pete, the running backs coach, is out again. This was his second stint with the Cowboys. Rob Davis, uh, he's assistant head coach. He's also gone. Leon Lett, who was a defensive line coach, he's gone. And Joe Philbin, the offensive line coach, which that one kind of shocked me. I couldn't believe they let him go. So if they let Joe Philbin go, just think about this now. If they let Joe Philbin go, maybe they're not convinced that Kellen Moore is going to stay either, because you know Brian Schottenheimer is a consultant for the Cowboys. And he used to be an offensive coordinator in the NFL, and they could easily elevate him. Or maybe they have somebody else in mind that they're shooting for. They're just going to have to see where all these head coaching jobs settle, and then, you know, they can do something maybe around draft time. But Kellen Moore, if I was Kellen Moore, I wouldn't feel too comfortable right now, because the Cowboys didn't say they were bringing him back like they just did on Dan Quinn. They're just kind of leaving it up there. Oh, we have to evaluate everyone. Is what McCarthy said. But the Cowboys had 30 assistant coaches on their roster, which is more than any other team in the NFL. And I'm sure Jerry sat back and said, why do we need 30 damn coaches, man? We've got a head coach, we've got an offensive coordinator. Used to, all you had was head coach, offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, assistant defensive linebacker coach. You didn't have all these damn head coach, and assistant to the assistant coach. That's bullshit, man. Do your job. That's too many voices, if you ask me. Who do you listen to? There's 30 damn people. Who do you focus on? So maybe Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones sat in their office and they said, hey, why am I paying all these damn coaches and we can't even get to the championship game? So they cut some fat there. Of course, there's no cap on coaches, folks. You can pay a coach $25 million a year if you want to, just like that's what Sean Payton's won. Plus, have to give up a first-round draft pick. I wouldn't do that. I'd keep McCarthy before I do that. That's crazy. So I got a feeling Sean Payton, he didn't land a job yet either, because no one wants to give up a first-round pick and then have to pay him $25 million a year. So they're going to have to go back to the drawing board on that, or he's going to stay in the Fox booth. I don't see him taking any jobs this year. He may wait and see if McCarthy gets fired next year, because I think he really wants to coach the Cowboys, truth be known. But anyway, another thing I want to talk about today is the state of the Cowboys, pretty much, especially one in particular, Dak Prescott. I was thinking about this. Dak making all those harebrained decisions and throwing interceptions like he was. I mean, is Dak really been coached up enough in his 7 years in the league? I watch Kurt Warner has a YouTube channel called Quarterback Confidential. If you haven't seen that, look that up and go give it a look, because he really breaks down all these quarterbacks and what they should be seeing and what they're not seeing, and the decisions they're making when they're quarterback and not seeing the field properly. And that's what Dak does. I love Dak to death. I'm not dogging Dak. He's going to be our quarterback and everything. But Dak needs to be coached by the right coach. And I don't think Dak's been coached by the right coach yet, because he still is making bad decisions, and he's throwing the ball where he shouldn't throw the ball, and he's throwing it into traffic, he's throwing interceptions, and he's losing ball games for the Cowboys by doing this. And when it gets to that point, folks, something's got to be done. Either if he can't do it, if he doesn't have it up here to absorb what he needs to absorb to get the job done, then we need to move on. But you can't move on right now because you're under contract constraints, at least for the next 2 years with Dak Prescott. And I think he's due something like $49 million next year. I mean, that's crazy. That's the going rate, though. That's what you're going to pay for a starting quarterback these days in the NFL. And it's only going to get higher. Next year or two, it's going to be up to $60 million a year for a quarterback of the caliber, even of Dak Prescott. So, really, if you look at it, kind of got a bargain right now. But he's not playing like he's a bargain. He's playing like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing lately. Now, his first year in the league, Dak was setting everything on fire. I don't know how he was doing it. I guess because all the teams didn't have any tape on him, and he was just running roughshod over the league the first year. Won 13 games in a row, and cost Tony Romo his job. Never got it back. So the biggest thing I think the Cowboys need to do in this off season is figure out who they can hire that can elevate Dak's play and bring him up to where he needs to be. Because if you'll watch Kurt Warner's video that he broke down the Cowboys basically beat themselves in the games they've lost this year. Only lost 5 games. But in those 5 games, they beat themselves. Whether it be penalties, whether it be throwing the ball in the wrong place on the field, not reading the defenses, turnovers. In all those games they lost, it was Cowboys pretty much beating themselves. They never got, in the games they lost, they never really got trounced, you know. It was all because the Cowboys shot themselves in the foot. And in some games, it was the referees. I mean, I have to admit, I'm not one to cry referee, but there was 1 or 2 games that the referees actually blew for the Cowboys in you know, concert with what the Cowboys were doing. So, but I wanted to get on here, and I've been thinking about this. You know, this do we have the right coaches, offensive coordinator? You know, I'd like to see another offense come in here. We've been running this same offense because Dak knew all the verbiage pretty much since Jason Garrett was here. Now, Coach McCarthy says they're not running the same offense as Jason Garrett did, which is true. But there's variations of what Jason Garrett did in this current offense that the Cowboys run, and the whole league knows what we're going to do pretty much. So why not try a new offensive coordinator and I don't want somebody from within. I would rather, you know, get somebody from outside, a whole different offense, and let's see what Dak can do under that offense, you know. Get somebody that has a different offensive mind and offensive outlook on what schemes they want to run. The Cowboys run the same pretty much scheme, and their creativity is just not there. Kellen Moore, if you think about it, Kellen Moore really don't have that much experience. He was with the Lions for a cup of coffee with the former offensive coordinator of the Cowboys. His name's escaping me. Oh, Lanahan. He was with Lanahan at Detroit Lions, and then the Cowboys got him, and he was assistant under Lanahan, and then the Cowboys promoted him to offensive coordinator. That's really all the experience at offensive coordinator that Kellen Moore has. So there's got to be more experienced offensive minds out there that the Cowboys could hire. Nothing against Kellen Moore. He's a good guy. You know, he just needs more experience. Maybe if he goes to another team, you know, with a different quarterback, with a different skill set, you know, he may succeed, may do better. But anyway, that's all I had on my mind today, folks. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I do appreciate those who already have. And y'all watch these games and see how far you think the Cowboys are off from being able to compete with San Francisco and Philadelphia. My pick is I want San Francisco to win because I hate Philly, but I kind of feel like Philadelphia's going to win by at least 2 touchdowns in this game. I hate to say it. They're at home. They're probably going to, my prediction, they're probably going to win like 24-14, somewhere 24-10, something like that. I think they're going to win the game in somewhere in that fashion. It's going to be at least a 2 touchdown, 10-point to 2 touchdown difference. Unless they make a bunch of turnovers, and I would like nothing more for 49ers to beat their ass because I hate Philadelphia. I want to shut them up. And just like I saw on TV a while ago in their stadium, they have a banner up. It says, "It's a Philly thing." Really? Come on now. But anyway, and my pick for the other game, I'm pulling for Cincinnati Bengals. I think Bengals are going to pull this one off. They've got Mahomes' number, plus Mahomes has that bad ankle. And I predict they're going to win 28-21 in this game. I think it's going to be about a touchdown difference. With that being said, till next year, Cowboys, you know, maybe we can do it next year. Who knows? Things change. With that being said, catch you next time. I'm out.